And hello, everyone, and welcome to the watch along for England versus USA. I'm your host, George Kyle. I'm very delighted again to join you, obviously, for my own nation, an important game, obviously, the second one in this group, and indeed the second one of this group so far altogether. I'm just going to quickly go through a few of the comments. Obviously, apologies for you guys. I was slightly late. Just getting things set up my end as always. Obviously, elevator and escalator fan, one of the sort of erstwhile people on here as well. So obviously, just if you go through, as I said, run through those comments, catch up with things. So Qatar out of the World Cup, Netherlands should get through, but the Ecuador-Senegal game is interesting. Yeah, I think Netherlands are going to. We'll find that quite straightforward. They should, undertake that victory nice and easy. I think Qatar, again, obviously watching them particularly earlier on today against Senegal, real lack of potency, lack of quality, and they really didn't offer much. Albeit the fact that there probably was what I would deem anyway a stonewall penalty when the score was at 0-0, and if that goes in, of course, it makes things slightly more difficult. But it didn't. So yeah, a very straightforward win for Senegal in the end. And obviously get Qatar out first team out of the tournament. USA. So elevating escalator fan. Yes, and obviously you're going to be supporting USA. Myself, of course, supporting England. Again, obviously do get involved, you guys, in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe as always. And yes, this game determines whether it's football or soccer. Not quite. Irregardless. I mean, I might sort of go on with it, saying it's soccer temporarily, but. Of course, we ourselves, we were the creators of the game, so we get to choose what it's called. But of course, yeah, I know you guys obviously have it slightly deemed differently. And then if we lose this game, we have to beat Iran to have a chance of going through, because if we beat Iran and Wales don't get 3 points against England, the US go through. Yeah, there are quite a few different permutations going into this. Of course, I did watch the full game, the full Iran game versus Wales earlier today. I think that was probably the best game so far today, actually. Really, really enjoyable game. And ultimately, despite the fact, I do have a soft spot for Wales, given the fact that obviously, they are part of Great Britain, and, sort of no neighbours to ourselves, obviously England. What I would say is that I really did enjoy the fact that Iran got that victory. I thought it was absolutely well deserved in the end, and it was extremely satisfying that Iran did win it, because it was almost like a victory for football. I thought Wales did very, very little, and ultimately, really, it would be quite poor actually if Wales were to make it through to the next round. I think Iran, for me, are probably who I'd like to see go through pure on a footballing basis. But obviously, I've not, we'll see how USA fare tonight. Of course, the group could actually, if USA are able to pull out the victory, the group could be flipped on its head, and we could have all four teams heading into the final day needing something. But from an England perspective, that result puts us very much in the driving seat. We know that if we beat USA, we pretty much qualified top. It would need a major goal swing, obviously, on the final day for us not to go through top. So, yeah. And then elevate escalator. Actually, my bad. If we beat Iran, Wales will have to beat England by a certain amount of goals bounce in this game. Yes, quite correct. Yes, it's all to do with like goals for and goals against. Still done by goal difference, not on head to head, as we sort of spoke about on previous streams. And then sup George, yep, high elevate escalator fan. Yes, good to have you joining me as you always. And obviously Jade, George, the English lucky charm, not feeling very well today, so hoping for a USA win. Jade, I can't join. I hope you do feel better soon, but I can't join you in that. I do want to see England win. I do want to see us, qualify top of the group. I think the group is, we should be winning this group. I think in quality terms, I think that, with this group, I've specifically seen every single match so far. Obviously, this will be my fourth one. I was the fourth one of this group, and I think we are the best team in this group by some distance. Iran, I think we actually made look a lot poorer than they are. I think they were actually very good against Wales. It was just a bit of a shame, really, that they had that lack of. Obviously with Iran, it's just a shame they've got a bit of a lack of clinical nature at the front. Obviously hit the post in that, and obviously the keeper Hennessy made a good save, but then the game swings slightly. I know obviously it looked like Iran wouldn't get the breakthrough, and Wales might have got one, although undeserved. But then obviously Hennessy gets rightly sent off for an absolutely atrocious challenge, reminiscent of Schumacher all those years ago. Completely clatters. I think it was Taremi, wasn't it? They clattered. And yeah, Iran finally, obviously a long distance goal, and then that second goal in the counter break. So yeah, really, really pleased for Iran. Like I said, despite the fact, ostensibly I do sort of subsidiarily support Wales, and because of the sort of reasons I mentioned. like ultimately I support football above all things, and Iran did deserve that victory, so it was nice to see it. And I think Wales, I've sort of said to Nathan as well, who a lot of you guys will know. I said, obviously a Wales fan. I said to him that I can't stand anti-football, can't stand anti-football like Wales play. So yeah. Um, and then let's go fan. The scenarios for Group A: Netherlands win, they go through, and Senegal must win against Ecuador to go through. Any other result, and Senegal are out. Yes. Ecuador, they were sort of like one of those in Group A. I think it obviously has been quite close. It was always going to be, I think, between Ecuador and Senegal for that second spot. And for me, I think probably, in some ways, probably should be Ecuador. And of course, there's a real sort of weight to what happens in that group, because if England do top this group, which hopefully, as I said, a victory in the next few hours will see to it, unless, like I said, they have that massive goal swing, which is extremely unlikely on the final day. Whoever comes second in Group A is going to be our opponent. So, from what I've seen of Ecuador and Senegal so far, I'd actually probably prefer Senegal to play. I think they are slightly more suspect, and I think Ecuador would be a more tricky proposition. So, and then a lot of people rooting for England for once. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I've seen a lot of I think England are quite rightly, obviously, because a lot of English people sort of are perceived, aren't they, as very arrogant. So that's why a lot of other nations sort of want us to fail, because there's even that sort of almost sort of popular song, the most famous song, "It's Coming Home," has a bit of arrogance about it, in the fact that and also the way that we sort of bill up a lot of our top talents and saying they're golden generations, when ultimately, in almost every circumstance that's happened, there are a lot of other nations who do have better teams and better squads. So, yeah, I can totally understand, like I said, why people don't rate England and don't really particularly want to support them. But obviously, that is my nation, so I will be obviously supporting them, in this tournament. And then Jade's obviously coming. It's weird for me as I'm English, but I support France at football. Yeah, I think on that, Jade, I think you must be quite pleased, because France have started the tournament extremely well against Australia. A lot, obviously, I've spoken about it previously, but Olivier Giroud is such an important conduit. No matter where he plays, it seems like he always makes all the teams better. So in some ways, it was a blessing in disguise when Benzema got injured, or at least it isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, because Giroud is a capable understudy and replacement. But I think there will be trickier tests in Australia. But of course, France know themselves that topping that group is going to be important, because again, it just means a slightly easier route to the final. There's a potential, obviously, like I said, if they were to top the group, there's a potential quarterfinal against England if England do top this group. So that will be a mouth-wateringly tasty clash if that does happen. From my own point of view, like I said, obviously, I'm hoping that probably Denmark top that group. Because I prefer to play Denmark than France. I think we could beat France, but I think Denmark might be slightly easier given our more favourable record against them. And then obviously if I watched the Netherlands-Ecuador game, and Ecuador looked like the better team by a mile. Netherlands played like how Belgium played against Canada, and Ecuador deserved more than a draw. Yeah, I know a lot of. I did sort of see glimpses of the Netherlands-Ecuador game. I was at the gym at the time. They did have it on the television screen, and so I was sort of doing it in between sets. And again, I think a lot of the time, I think Group A are actually, and whether people agree that will disagree with me on this, I think Group A has probably got the least. It's probably the least quality group, in my opinion, of all 8 groups at the tournament. I think that all those teams in there are. I think obviously with the exception of Qatar are probably the worst team at the tournament. Only in there because they're hosts. And then obviously, yeah, Ecuador, Senegal, like I said, obviously Mane-less without their best player. And obviously that Senegal-Qatar match, which I was watching in full. Yeah, Senegal were not all that either, and obviously, yeah, Ecuador and Netherlands. Yeah, Netherlands are not quite. I think not quite the team that they used to be. Certainly in my youth, obviously, like the late '90s, early 2000s, the Netherlands were an incredible team back then, and obviously even before then, of course. But they had incredible players, and I don't necessarily think that the current Dutch crop are that good. And obviously Louis van Gaal, well known to all of us, obviously as the ex-Man United player, ex-Man United manager, I should say. And then obviously JJ, my dad always said to me, if you want disappointment football, support England. Yeah, that pretty much is what happens. We are about to kick off very shortly. They are just doing the knee, that mark of respect. And Yes, the game has now kicked off. Obviously, again, you guys might be ahead of me, might be behind me, but like I said, obviously, I'll keep you up to date as things occur in front of me. Once again, obviously, I've got the same setup, so I have got when I'm sort of looking up. So far, I've got the television. I've got the television once again, literally directly behind my computer. Um, but yeah, just onto Jade's thing. Yeah, it's been real heartbreak. I think I've sort of got used to it. Where my first real sort of tournament I can remember very well was 1998, of course, when we got eliminated by Argentina on penalties. David Batty, in particular, missed an absolute one of it. Obviously, it was typical for England to lose on penalties anyway. But and obviously David Beckham, as we know, lashed out at Diego Simeone. Euro 2000, Phil Neville, the absolute clod, decided to give away a penalty against Romania when we got eliminated in the group stages, having finally beaten Germany in a major tournament, which was in the previous game, which was an Alan Shearer goal 1-0. 2002, as we all know, obviously that was the Ronaldinho game, the lob over Seaman from 40 yards. Brazil, probably their best team that I've seen in my lifetime, obviously, of Brazil's. But USA are on the attack here, but it all looks absolutely fine. Gone back to Pickford, and he's got rid of it. But yeah, I could bore on for ages, actually, honest with you, about all the different England. I might do that if things get dull and boring here, but that's us up to 0-2 anyway. And the later escalator fan, obviously, to Jade. France win tomorrow, and they become the first defending champions since Brazil in 06 to get out of their group. Yeah, there is that sort of curse of the champions, but I think France have obviously got that favourable group. I think it's you obviously be able to correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not able to access that currently, but I think it's France versus Denmark actually is the next match. And like I said, obviously in my previous predictions prior to a ball being kicked, I had Denmark coming first. So I think that's probably what I'm going to, I'm sort of betting on that sort of basis now that Denmark have obviously dropped points the first game. I'm sort of betting on Denmark to beat France. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But again, obviously France on paper have got such an incredible squad. And here we go, ready for war. So the lower escalator fan, yes, it's all blood and thunder at the moment. It's balls being come back to the USA keeper. Harry Kane's doing his usual slow press because he's a tortoise. He's tortoise slow. But at the moment, yeah, USA look as though they've started relatively well. They'll be hoping to get Harry Maguire. He's just on my screen now. He's just horsed it into the crowd mindlessly in the way that he tends to do. And then Jade, yeah, God, George Waite made feel on my first World Cup was Germany 06 and France lost to Italy. Yeah, I'm slightly older than you, Jade. But yeah, I remember that very, very well. Obviously, that in that game specifically, I was a massive fan of, and always will be, obviously, of Zinedine Zidane, and that was a real heartbreaking moment for me. Yeah, just seeing Zidane, obviously a player that I'd rated for so long. I wanted him to win that because in that World Cup, he basically carried France all the way to that final. He was absolutely phenomenal, particularly, there's sort of highlights of every single touch that Zidane made in the quarterfinal against Brazil in that 06 World Cup, because he had one of the best games that you ever see on a football pitch. He was absolutely, albeit the fact that obviously it was Brazil 4 years on from when they won the World Cup, like I said, with 3 R's, and they were on the decline slightly, but France themselves were on the decline as well. Obviously, they'd won the World Cup 98, Euros 2000, and obviously we all know what happened in 02. That famously, obviously Senegal. They mention it again on commentary because they always do. That the manager of Senegal currently was the captain of the Senegal team that beat France in 02, which again sort of brings us back to the sort of World Cup curse. But yeah, France, as I said, I was supporting them then. It was just heartbreaking. And when Zidane got sent off, even just prior to that, actually in extra time, when he did get sent off, he had this golden opportunity with his head, and obviously it was saved. But France could have gone 2-1 up there, and maybe even if he had got sent off, they would have been able to sort of see things out in extra time. But it wasn't to be. And obviously Italy, as we know, in a seat, and obviously when they went into the World Cup, they were docked by match fixing. And that was when the match fixing had broke, but they managed to all group together, and Italy had a brilliant squad as well. So, worthy champions at least, but it did leave a bitter taste in my mouth. Like I said, obviously we know the fact that Materazzi, a player who, didn't even have 1/1,000,000th of Zidane's skill, had somehow managed to wind him up, and obviously got him sent off. And then obviously elevator and escalator fan. If France win and Tunisia, Australia is a draw. France win the group. Yes, Yeah, France have got a good opportunity there. I think Tunisia will be hoping to beat Australia. I think they're probably, ostensibly at the moment, from what I've seen of these matches, I think Australia are going to be the whipping boys of that group. But again, things can change, and very very quickly in the second round. Um, I think on the Iran thing. Obviously, they would have been. You'd have thought when they beat, if you hadn't watched the match, when we beat them 6-2. I know a lot of you guys obviously were with me for that watch along. Even then, it wasn't that necessarily that Iran were that bad. It was just that England were very, very good, and obviously Iran got dispirited when they had that goal, when they had their goalkeeper injured, didn't they? As well as obviously the goals were going in quite thick and fast. So England were very clinical, but Iran really did lose heart quite a lot. And there's a real spirit today, and like I said, it was a thoroughly enjoyable match this morning, and whether you guys obviously caught it or not. And then Thierry Henry did score the winner against Brazil. He did. It was a Zidane ball. I think it was his free kick, wasn't it? When he got it all the way to the back post, and Henry came creeping in like he always was wont to do, obviously ghosting in and got the goal. That was it. Yeah, like I said, if you ever want to see, there are a few matches. I think you'll always see a few matches within a certain time period where, like I said, they're so good that people actually do YouTube compilation videos of every single touch that these people have made. And like I said, that's Zidane one. If anyone wants to after this, or has a spare, I think it's probably about 10 or 15 minutes to watch one of the best games that anyone's ever played. Then like I said, that's one of them. For Zidane against Brazil in '06 in that World Cup. Absolutely phenomenal. At the moment, just to bring us up to, because obviously we've been sort of going up. I'll just quickly go through your comments, but obviously the game's sort of progressing. But at the moment, it's just the opening skirmishes. Nothing much to report. Both sides sort of feeling each other out. Elevate and fan Brazil always lose to European teams in knockouts. Yes, that's obviously the key for Brazil is that they are going to want to sort of buck that trend. I think they've sort of struggled. Obviously, they've not in previous iterations. They haven't, but in recent World Cups, that's where they've always sort of come unstuck. Obviously, the France in '06, and yeah, obviously we all know what happened in 2014. Obviously with the 7-1 in their own backyard. Really, really diabolical. I think Neymar got injured, didn't he? Broke his back, didn't he? I think it was that match, or it might have been the previous one. But yeah, the 7-1 against Germany was probably the darkest day maybe in Brazilian history, or at least one of them definitely. And then obviously Rich is in, so hi Rich. He's just said hi all, and hello Rich. Sorry about Wales earlier from Jade. Yeah, I mean obviously I don't know whether Rich wants me on for tonight for his sort of summation show or not, but ultimately my thoughts on Wales are that they deservedly. I mean obviously they're not out, and we could see obviously if USA. I'm not quite sure what result any Wales fan would want in this match, but I think it might actually be best if USA get a result here, like some sort of draw or maybe even a win, to try and keep all teams all close together. But yeah, for me, Wales currently, after those two matches that I've now watched of them for all the way through, they're probably the team I least want to go through. Like I said, from an emotional standpoint, I wouldn't mind Wales going through, because I know obviously, like I said, they've got obviously a close neighbour to ourselves, but from a footballing perspective, in no way can I condone or want, or do I want Wales to actually go through. Because, like I said, it's really poor. They've been really really poor this tournament, and against Iran in particular, we did see that that really coming into effect. And obviously, celebrating an escalator fan, Wales can still go through if we lose rather, and they beat England by a certain amount of goals, but then when you lose by day, yes, yeah. But so I'm not quite sure. Celebrating an escalator fan, like I said, obviously you are quite correct. There's no real result that doesn't, that Wales won't. Will knock Wales out. But obviously, like I said, I'm not quite sure. And now England are on the attack. We do have an opportunity here. Come on, shoot! Oh my fucking god! Oh, that is absolutely terrible. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that, guys. It was just the game sort of sprung into life here. Bukayo Saka was released down the right, and he just sort of passes it in nicely. Perfect weight and perfect pass into Harry Kane. Admittedly, plenty of USA bodies in the way to throw themselves in front of it. But Harry Kane I can't believe he's missed that. To be honest with you, he really should have made the goalkeeper work. Piss poor finish. But England do now have a corner. It's whether we can obviously convert that. Almost 10 minutes gone, but like I said, obviously very little action so far apart from this, apart from that chance for Kane. And I think that was Harry. That was John Stones. Go on, Harry. Harry, cross it. Oh my, that was absolutely hilarious. So Johnson, obviously the corner came in from Trippier, I think it was. John Stones rose. Unfortunately, was sort of heavily marked. Ball sort of came out to the left-hand corner. Harry Maguire chased it down, and it was almost like a blundering. It was like a blundering version of Ryan Giggs on the wing as he came headlessly in and sort of managed to prod it back. I think it was Mason Mount actually. He managed to divert it back to, and Mount then blazes it over. Any of you guys who were previously on previous watch or the previous watch along will know that I definitely don't rate Mason Mount whatsoever. A typically rash finish by him, just blazes it miles over, and like I said, obviously the chance is lost and a USA goal kick. But again, England have now won the ball back. And obviously, yeah, elevator and escalator fan. Geez, boys, wake up! Yeah, that was quite close. I'm very surprised actually that the Maguire was allowed to waltz through. I think that was probably more concerning. And certainly, like I said, Kane really should have done better with his opportunity. You expect with a striker of his quality, him to actually at least, like I said, at least test the goalkeeper and be a bit more calm and composed. Especially, like I said, because the Saka ball into him was perfectly weighted and perfectly placed. So, like I said, Kane really should have done better in my view, anyway. But yeah, obviously, it looks to me like, unlike the previous game when USA were playing Wales, when USA were very dominant first half, obviously, particularly in the first exchanges, really sort of on top, it looks to me like they've got a different game plan against England, understandably, because obviously England have got a far more quality than Wales. It does appear that they are going to be in that cautious, pragmatic style at the moment. Is those banks of four, and England are going to try and have to play through it, same as they did against Iran, and which obviously they did do to very good effect, but they did use the wide corridors in particular in the opening times before obviously Iran did sort of seem to give up. And it looks like again that England are holding their width, particularly with Trippier and Shaw, who both appear to be quite pinned to their flanks. And again, obviously England are trying things here. That's much better. Oh, bloody Kane! Kane started absolutely terribly. That was a terrible pass out from him. Not much. It looks to me like USA are very well organised, and there's not much room at all here. Oh, bloody hell, that's terrible. Yep. Do you think you can beat Brazil if they face each other in the final? I think England can beat anyone. And again, that might sound arrogant, but I think we can beat anyone just by the basis of the fact that we do have a lot of good players. I think there are teams and squads that are better than us. Just being honest and trying to be neutral here, but I think we are one of those teams who are one of the favourites, and we shouldn't really fear, or at least not. We should be able to beat anyone. Like I said, I think Brazil from obviously, I'm not sure whether you guys will have sort of seen Brazil play against Serbia, wasn't it, last night? But for me, when I've watched obviously a lot of these games all the way through in this tournament, I think for me, Brazil are probably come on. Come on. Oh my God. Absolute crap again from England. Really good opportunity. The ball just doesn't fall really to anyone. Harry Kane tries to, I think, do some sort of acrobatic recovery. He's seen his teammate Richarlison, just talking about the Brazil match. He's seen his teammate Richarlison score one of the goals of the tournament, and he's tried himself to do a volley, but the ball never actually comes to him. And he looks a bit of an arse, all things considered. But does seem to be some joy down this left USA flank, England's right. Trippier and Saka have formed a good partnership so far. It's quite a fledgling partnership, that one. But England, at the moment, like I said, that appears the most likely avenue which England can exploit. And at the moment, USA haven't really closed that down. Trippier and Saka, it looks like a lot of our sort of possession and ball play is going to come down that area. But now USA are enjoying a nice spell of possession. And obviously we've got Alan C in here. USA. Yes, still in it, very much in it. USA themselves know, of course, if they win this match, they'll then go top of the group, which would be a nice feather in their cap. as well as obviously, I think this was sort of said at the very start of the stream, wasn't it, that if England were to lose and USA were to win, that the game of football would now become soccer. So you've also got that as a potential reward. Um, as a bit, I'm sure the points is much more of a reward as well as topping the group if USA are able to beat England. But yeah, at the moment it's quite a tight game to be in all honesty. Obviously, England have had that opportunity for Harry Kane, a couple of half chances as well, and Harry Kane at the moment is dropping quite deep as well, just trying to link the play and going in between the lines. But USA are all very, very compact actually in this. Even looking at it as England enjoy some possession in the highest third of their own half, but actually England are now sort of dropping deep, dropping in the spaces. That's what I do like about England, is that we do have quite a lot of intelligent players now in this starting lineup. Come on, oh my fucking god, no. Absolutely no idea what Luke Shaw was trying there. Tried a sort of skidded fizzed cross, which again was absolutely terrible and went straight through to the US keeper. And now USA are on the break. That's probably where they're going to sort of seek in this first half, when they're trying to keep things nice and cagey. And that is a good half opportunity as well there for USA. I think that's just a slightly misdirected header, which has gone quite far wide of the target. I think Harry again was slightly lacking there. He was a bit slow to the mark, but the ball has gone considerably wide. No sort of major threat to Pickford's goal. And first time to listen to you, pal. Very, very good. Thank you, Alan. Much appreciated. Obviously, it's Doug's channel, as we know, and obviously he's very kindly again allowed me to do this watch along. I will try and maybe do a few more for you guys, but again, obviously with work considerations, they do have to come in, take precedence. Unfortunately, I do wish that rather I always had a sort of full-time job as a football pundit or a commentator, because that would be extremely enjoyable. And obviously, celebrate an escalator fan. If the US win today, everyone will talk about how Mexico beat France in 2010 and Germany in 2018. Yes, yeah, they certainly will. I know obviously USA did beat England. I think it was World Cup 2010, wasn't it? That USA did beat England. So it's very, very good. And I think ostensibly it's more of a sort of rivalry in the women's game than it is in the men's game. The USA and England. The fact is, obviously, I believe at the moment USA women are world champions, and obviously England women certainly are Euros champions, which I was very pleased about in the summer. So there is more of that rivalry, I think, between England and the USA in the women's game than there is in the men's. Without sort of blowing England's trumpet in terms of the men's game, I think our men's team is much, much better than the US men's team. So there's never necessarily been that rivalry. I think there is in the women's game as well. And in World Cup 2010 it was a 1-1 draw. Oh, okay, when the keeper made the error. So I've I think it was Rob Green, wasn't it? Right, an escalator fan. I think it was him that we had in goal at that point. I think Jordan Pickford, just sort of talking about goalkeepers, I think Pickford's really proved himself in the last couple of tournaments as a very capable goalkeeper. I don't want to sort of jinx him, because we do know that keepers do tend to can make mistakes, but Pickford has been pretty much flawless and immaculate in his play so far for England in the most recent tournaments, and he's been a real rock and a mainstay of why England have done so well, obviously semi-finals and final, and hopefully going obviously one better, winning the tournament in my view this time around. And the US women's team is miles better than the men's team. Yes, the women's team is phenomenal. I remember obviously we had, I'm not sure whether you were there, like an escalator fan, there was an argument on Rich's podcast as well, that about when do we think US men's team, or do we think, ultimately first, do we think that US men's team can win the World Cup eventually? And if so, when do we think that will happen? Come on, run it. Oh, fucking hell, that's a foul. But no cigar from the referee. That was definitely a foul. But USA do have the chance to break. I will sort of get back to my point in a moment, but just trying to follow the match as well. So USA are breaking now. But now England have got the chance. They've obviously won back possession. But who was that? think it's fucking Luke Shaw that's just giving away the ball tamely, and USA do have the opportunity now, the chance. But England have got lots and lots of people back. It's probably going to go into the mixer again. And Jordan Pickford, that's a very easy claim. It's a terrible cross. Jordan Pickford again, he's gone animated as he normally does whenever the ball goes anywhere close to him. He's incredibly irate with his defence, shouting at them and cajoling them to do better next time. But yes, just on that point, yeah, obviously the US, in terms of the US men's team, like I said, it was a question posed as to whether US men's team would ever win the World Cup, and if so, when. And I think, from my point of view, I think US men's team will win the World Cup. That's just based on the fact that, as we know, USA do dominate in terms of like athletics, as well as other sort of disciplines. I think at the moment it's just because the US obviously, that sort of age-old adage that it's now soccer, and obviously with American football and so forth, and baseball and all those other, like basketball in particular as well, other things like that. It's the fact is that football becomes one of the sort of lowest priorities in terms of, oh my fucking god, well, half chance again there for USA, just a ball lumped over the top, but not the necessary direction or precision to really trouble England. But at the moment, England are being quite wayward actually with these passes. I think that's being helped, or they're being hindered a bit by how tight and compact USA are. It does look to me like, because obviously Stones and Maguire in particular are both reluctant to come out. It looks to me like it's almost as though the USA have got extra players, just because, like I said, Stones and Maguire are both rooted to this lower third. And then obviously it's the fact that it's got this 9 players against 11 almost when they've got the ball, because the USA have got every man behind the ball, as you're supposed to do with a disciplined defensive unit. But yeah, I think obviously elevate and escalate, and I think we might go far in 2026. We won't win it, but we will do well, in my opinion. The same for Mexico and Canada. Yes, I think obviously in 4 years' time, we'll obviously see very different squads. There'll be lots of different sort of players going through. I'm not quite sure, obviously, and you'll probably know Elevate and Escalate fan, because I think obviously you are in the US. I'm not sure whether US are making a concerted effort to improve the men's game in terms of like putting money into grassroots or like the youth and stuff, and whether we'll see that in the next few years. Obviously young players coming through, because I think that's probably, I know that's what a lot of people are saying is like the reason. Oh my god, it's Mount again. The reason that England have done so well, they're sort of saying recently, is because we've got a lot of young players who have come through, and it's because the FA put a lot of money into grassroots football many years ago, and now we're starting to see the fruits of that. And that's ultimately what that's the only thing that can really change things. Is obviously with the US, they've ultimately got a very large pool of people to choose from. The fact is, in terms of like populations, that should impact in terms of how many people you've got to call from. But also you've got to think about the finances involved, the development of young players, and making sure that they come through. But I know a lot of your US players are in quite high leagues now, so I think obviously you've got a good opportunity, and probably this will be, come on, oh fucking hell. Okay, England have got the ball, and that's a good tackle as well. And yeah, England at the moment are struggling to break down the USA. But now they are trying to use the width here. Oh, fucking hell. Yep, just a bit slightly inaccurate there as well. And yeah, most of our players are in the MLS. Yes, yeah, that you probably do need to change that, or either you have to change that in terms of like more players going to like the top 5 European leagues, or you have to make it so that the MLS becomes, I don't know how you do that. Maybe like more investment again, or making it more attractive to players in their prime. You have to make the MLS somehow make it a better league in terms of attracting better players, and that means that the levels be higher, and therefore your players themselves will be of a higher caliber as well. But I don't think that's it's whether that's practicable or not, and how USA will do it. And it's also, like I said, I don't know enough about the US, the USA's football in association. What I mean by that is, what are their priorities? Are they going to have enough money? Do they get enough money compared to other sports? Obviously, like I said, America in particular have been, as we know, obviously with China as well, specifically. Athletics, obviously every single Olympics, China and USA are dominating that medal table. So USA, like I said, are a sporting superpower, but not obviously in the footballing or soccer, obviously, as you would call it, sphere. But the USA themselves, obviously, it's quite an even game so far. We're almost at 25 minutes gone, and USA have, having a few opening attacks. Not really created much. Obviously, there was that header that flashed quite considerably wide of Pickford's goal. But at the moment, obviously, England are getting into a good shape, not allowing too much ball to come across. But I think maybe a USA first goal, would really throw the cat among the pigeons. Oh, flipping heck! And just as I speak that, it's McKennie, who obviously you've got to spot him as well because of his what he's done to his hair. He does have an absolutely golden opportunity. Weston McKennie has a golden opportunity here because the ball's just crossed in here. Absolutely no one's marking him, and the ball falls to him, and all he has to do is really keep it down. But unfortunately, as the ball sort of bounces up and he sort of has to hit it on a half volley, he does struggle to do so and does blaze it considerably over the bar. So that's a really good opportunity for USA. And I think if we're sort of keeping a track of the chances, is going to be at the moment probably 1-1 in that respect. Obviously the Kane opportunity that he had, and obviously that one there for McKennie. So yeah, very very tight and even game at the moment. I think England obviously are having more possession. What has happened here? Yep. That is one good thing about Bukayo Saka. Having him, obviously, he's a prodigious player and a very skillful player, but also he does offer that defensive work rate. And then elevator and escalator fan. What a chance! We should be 0-1 up. Yes, I think that was probably the best chance actually of the game so far. I think obviously with the Kane one, it was a good opportunity in terms of where the distance from the goal, but he did have many defenders in the way. And I think obviously with McKennie's one, it was pretty much, if he kept it down, it was almost going to be at least a guaranteed shot on target or making Pickford work. So yeah. And I think, again, this game might be quite low on chances, so you do want to convert those. And I think if USA are going to, get something from this game, they do have to score first. And that really is a golden opportunity to do so. They're just showing the replay again. And like I said, obviously it comes to McKennie relatively quickly, but he can't adjust his feet. And sadly, like I said, obviously, that is very, very poor. I'm quite surprised actually here. Trippier, this should probably be a yellow card, to be honest with you. He does, obviously it's a US breakaway, and the referee has decided to be lenient. I don't think I agree with that. I think that should have been a yellow card to Kieran Trippier. He was late, but not only that, obviously there was plenty of US bodies going through, and it seemed almost like a tactical foul from Trippier. He's just getting his leg across, and seeing what he could do. But again, signs already here that USA do pose that threat on the break. But also they do have the players who are capable enough of scoring or creating opportunities in the final third as well. But here we are again, obviously with the USA on the attack, and it's McKennie in particular. We are going to need to try, and I think particularly Declan Rice, he's sort of like the defensive midfielder for England. He is going to have to get a bit tighter, I think, to McKennie, because at the moment he's now pulling the strings for the USA. And again, obviously, people are not being tight. Jordan Pickford, he gets his hands dirty, so to speak, as the ball comes into him. From I think that's Musa, isn't it? I think that had that opportunity, well charged down by the England back line. With the ball, as I said, very, very tamely goes into Pickford's gloves. But yeah, this does look like a very different game, let's say, to the Iran game. I know England again did start that relatively slowly, but obviously we got the first goal and then the floodgates opened. Whether that's the case again, we'll have to see. But obviously England again are not really creating too much. The USA are very well disciplined, and here goes Declan Rice now hoping to start another attack and hopefully again break this deadlock. That's a good pass in, a good tight pass in from Luke Shaw into Mason Mount. But Mount, in typical fashion, takes over an extremely leaden touch. The ball bounces off him like a trampoline, and USA have won the ball back. So again, the USA are going to start up another attack as we come towards now the half an hour mark. Once again, USA building up attacks. As this match goes on, of course, they are going to grow in confidence and will start to try and go for things. I think if I'm the sort of USA manager and the USA team themselves, I think obviously the first mandate is to get to half time, keeping things tight, at least keep a clean sheet, get a goal maybe if you can. But also, like I said, obviously the main thing is to stay in the game. We've seen already in so many games this tournament that ultimately staying in the game is your first priority, and you will have opportunities in the second half to capitalise, which obviously we've seen with a lot of the upsets in this tournament. Obviously with Saudi Arabia, Japan, um, and Iran as well. Obviously, I think that's slightly an upset. I mean, obviously between Iran and Wales, taking the chances, the opportunities in the second half is what's happened, what counted. So yeah, the longer this goes on at 0-0, the more opportunities that USA are going to have to ultimately win and take full control of the group. But obviously, plenty of football to play before then. At least 15 minutes of this game, of course, and of this first half, I should say. As well as the plentiful amount of injury time that will no doubt be served up, as it has been through every other match in this tournament. But at the moment, England are reluctant to sort of do the full press. You do have to kind of do the half press when you're playing Harry Kane because he's so cumbersome and slow. And the USA are sort of attempting to try and break the England determined defensive unit. That's definitely a foul, but and finally the referee's going to give it. Mason Mount was fouled about 3 times there. The referee did try and play advantage, but there was no advantage to be had. McKennie, I think it was, again, who was sort of backing into Mount, who went over like he'd been shot as well. And obviously, yeah, elevate and escalate fan. Asian teams either getting destroyed or pulling off amazing upsets. Yes. Oh, here we go. England got an opportunity here. Just lofted in again by Kieran Trippier. But there's, again, it's been cut out well by the USA back line. Just on that point, again, obviously, Asian teams. Yeah, obviously, as we know with Saudi Arabia, they've got a golden opportunity now in their group. I think for most people, in a way, for myself, and certainly they were going to be the bottom of groups. Is it Group C? I think for Argentina. But obviously, with that victory over Argentina, the draw that happened between Mexico and Poland, they've now got a golden opportunity with another win, maybe to sort of top the group. But again, obviously, USA are on the attack here. It's just scooped wide as well. Oh, and Christian Pulisic has just hit the bar with an absolute rasping drive. Very, very poor from England, actually, quite ponderous coming out to it. And the ball, obviously, from Pulisic just takes the shot on. Pickford, to be fair to him, does he have it covered? Unlikely. If that ball strikes the underside of the bar and goes in, I don't think Pickford has that. So very, very good opportunity for Pulisic and a warning shot for England as well. And yeah, oh my days, so close, celebrating their state fan. Yes, it was. Yeah. Like I said, I think if that goes slightly lower, it's a goal. And I think if that hits the underside of the bar, it's probably going to go ricocheting in. And very unlucky for the US. And obviously a warning shot, like I said, for England. Not sure what's happened here. I think obviously Kane's gone over. I'm not sure whether it's going to be a free kick. It's one of those things actually for the Harry Kane where he has given a free kick. Okay, yeah, so it was backing in by the US defender, and Harry Kane has won a free kick in a very central position, probably at least 40 yards out. Not sure which one of the England players is going to take it. It probably will be Kieran Trippier. He is the sort of free kick specialist, set piece specialist in the team currently, or on the side. There is actually going to be quite a gaggle of England players actually around this free kick, maybe trying to conjure something innovative and inventive at this juncture. We've got Bukayo Saka, Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, and the aforementioned Kieran Trippier, a 4-man huddle, trying to work out, or maybe like I said, maybe there's some sort of well-drilled routine here, which we're hoping for. But no, it's just a mindless loft into Harry Maguire, which seems to be always the tactic. And the ball's very, very easily cleared far down the line, and England have wasted a good opportunity on the set piece. But yes, a very, very tight match so far, actually. Chances have been low, but obviously USA have had the better opportunities. I think with the Pulisic one, that's actually a phenomenal effort from him. From that range and that angle, you're not anticipating him to be able to even get the shot on target. So, to be able to rasp the crossbar with such a true and potent strike is an incredible thing, really, that he's managed to muster there. So, and also very unlucky, of course, not to give the USA the lead. But now Jordan Pickford has got the ball and he's doing his usual, trapping the ball. He's yelling out instructions. I think he seems to be yelling out something to Kieran Trippier. Not sure whether he's asking him to move a bit closer. But again, I think England are trying to draw the USA onto them. And they're trying to open up some space because at the moment what's happening is that when the ball gets into the attacking players, whether that's Mount, Sterling, Saka or Kane, the USA are all very well grouped and well organised, and there's too many men for any of those players to beat. What worked quite well against Iran, of course, was they managed to isolate them a bit more and then create the space. But now England do have a bit of an opportunity now to attack. It's going to be fired in the cross. Come on. Good opportunity for England here. Extremely good covering by Stones there, actually, because I think it was Pulisic who was going to be away from the USA counter-attack, but also some very poor play, actually, from England, rushing things as well. And they're very Fanica a goal coming. Yeah, I think it looks to me there probably will be a goal before half-time. It might, on the basis of what we've seen so far, I think it might be the US who get it. England at the moment don't necessarily seem to have woken up. It seems to me that USA have got a much better drilled, and England are just sort of in a bit of a sort of struggling really to break things down or get a bit of rhythm in the match. That's also a foul, but the referee has played advantage, and the USA do have the ball just inside the England half. Ball just rolled in nicely into the centre of the park. At the moment, USA, like I said, obviously enjoying the possession. That's a handball. And yes, okay. Yes, the referee has given that handball on Pulisic. There was no real excuse not to give that. It was a handball, albeit accidental, from Pulisic, and England do have a free kick. About a third, I'd say, or about 2/3 actually into their half, which is going to be taken. And again, England can build up from the back. Yeah. And then obviously Elevate Escalate will score before half time, and England will come flying out with 3 goals. Yeah, it might well take something like that, Elevate Escalator fan. It might well take, going behind for England to actually sort of wake up, because at the moment it does appear that they're just sort of going through the motions. It's almost as though they feel like they can score a goal. Obviously, with that 6-2, they can score a goal anytime that they go forward. And at the moment, the USA, obviously, they know that they do need the victory. So when you do have that extra motivation, it can then be more difficult for the other team to motivate themselves as well. So at the moment, the USA are on top. Obviously, not created too much, but they have created the better opportunities. Weston McKennie did have a golden opportunity about halfway through this first half, which he blazed over on the half volley. And then Christian Pulisic had a long-range shot from just on the edge of the area, edge of the box, the left-hand side of the box as the USA would attack it, which did cannon off the bar. Jordan Pickford went despairingly towards it, didn't actually touch the ball. And it did, as I said, rattle the crossbar. And what is happening here? That's some very, very stern defending. I think that is, it's John Stones who's made the challenge on there as well. I don't think, obviously from the subtitles, it appears that they're saying it's Harry Maguire, but I'm pretty sure it was John Stones. That made that tackle. And USA do have a corner now, so again an opportunity for the USA to take the lead. But hopefully, obviously, from an England perspective, as an England fan, we will see England be able to repel this. And that is a very capable header, I think, from Harry Maguire, getting the ball well clear. And not only that, but obviously England have got the free kick. The referee absolutely, I think it was a foul on Saka, and the referee is haranguing someone in the USA ranks. But yeah, free kick given. And again, obviously, Jordan Pickford is able to spray the ball out wide to Kieran Trippier. But at the moment, USA have done very well. Obviously, they're keeping things. Thoughts on the Richarlison goal? Obviously, just on that, obviously I assume that you're talking about the second goal. First goal was good opportunistic poacher's instinct, but yeah, the second goal was absolutely ridiculous. I did see as well. Obviously, it was leaked on Twitter that he had been practicing that finish, which does seem, that if that's sort of typical Richarlison, isn't it really? But it did sit up for him. He obviously managed to control it, then sat it up for himself nicely, and it was just a phenomenal goal, really. But USA do have the opportunity here, but again, it's a poor cross. USA have got into a lot of dangerous positions actually this half, but then obviously it's the crosses that have really let them down. You go! Come on! Get it wide! Get it wide! Get it wide! Oh, you hopeless bastard, Bukayo Saka. Yeah, just an opportunity there for England to break. And again, some very, very poor, sloppy passing has unfortunately mitigated that offensive action. Bukayo Saka, again, poor option on the pass. He was trying to curl it round to the left-hand side where we did have a spare. I think it was Luke Shaw who was spare over on the other side, again, which failed. But the USA actually are enjoying a lot of freedom. They're sort of targeting. Oh my God, no. Jesus. So you can see what the US target is, and it's the correct one. I mean, I'd already identified in the Iran match as well that when Iran had got joy, it was down England's left-hand side, which is Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw does seem reluctant to get back, lack of energy, and of course Harry Maguire himself, um, isn't the quickest, suffers from mobility issues. And again, USA do have a good opportunity, but Harry Maguire is able to sort out his feet and get the block in. But again, USA have got a corner, to get in. But again, it's gone straight to it's gone straight to Harry Maguire, who's managed to hit a absolute bullet of a header, like smash it out for a throw in, and repel the danger again for England. But again, obviously USA are going to obviously set up with the attack, and get things started once again, recycling the ball. But yeah, England have been pretty poor. Not sure whether we're going to need to see our substitutes a bit earlier this time in attack. Maybe some midfield ones, something to really change this game, because at the moment, like I said, it's not been entirely USA's game, but obviously USA have been on top, so maybe we'll need some slight adjustments by Gareth to try and change things. It seems for me, yeah, well done, Pickford. It seems to me again, there's an opportunity crossing from the box again on the right hand side for the Americans, and I think it was Dest as well. And obviously, it's a header just glanced wide by Pulisic. Again, it was very, very tame in the end, and Pickford was able to watch it as the ball harmlessly squirreled wide of his own right hand post. But yeah, USA have been on top. It's not necessarily been an onslaught by any means, but the USA have been creating a lot of the opportunities. For me, it does seem like England are lacking in the midfield slightly. Rice, obviously, a player that I'm not, necessarily a big advocate of. I haven't quite seen him providing a shield in that defensive area. And like I said, obviously, it's definitely down the England left-hand side that America. Oh, come on! Oh, flip it now. That's terrible. Come on. Oh, I just can't stand some of this poor play. Good opportunity again. Obviously, it was Luke Shaw, I think, who was able to try and get the cross in. But again, it was like harmlessly overhit and an easy catch for the US keeper. And again, it's been a oh. I think that sums it up actually. That this half, I think, mostly for England though, because the US have done very, very well, but some miscontrols, and England have got the throw in back. But the half itself has been quite low on quality. We've seen that quite a lot actually this tournament, haven't we? We've seen the first halves be far less quality than the second. I think the second is when teams get well adjusted to things and start playing some of their better football. But yeah, England in particular. Come on! Oh, fuck. Go, 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 go. Oh, flipping heck. Oh, it's so poor. Brilliant play by Luke Shaw. I know obviously I've been, he's a Man United player, so I shouldn't, potentially be criticising him too much. That was a brilliant play. Passes it back, half chance, I would say. It wasn't a golden opportunity for Bukayo Saka when the ball came in the 6-yard box, but he has, spurned it unfortunately and sent it well into the stands. But again, a very good opportunity. We've not seen a lot of England in the offensive third at all, really, have we? We've seen, obviously, like I said, there was that Harry Kane opportunity, and we just had that Saka one. But other than that, England have not really threatened. Like I said, obviously the US blanket, their defensive shape has worked well. And obviously it's only 1 minute. I've just seen that pop up on the scoreboard. The third officials, fourth official, I should say, rather, scoreboard. And it's only 1 minute of extra time or injury time. So that does show that there's been a real lack of, nothing much has really happened in this game, has it? The fact that they're able to only have 1 minute. Oh, flipping heck. Typically, it's gone to Mason Mount as another golden opportunity. Slightly lucky, it goes through a US defender's legs, and Mason Mount again hits obviously the grass cutter drive, but that's far too close to the US keeper. And a relatively straightforward save. Obviously, it's gone behind for a corner, which will probably be the last opportunity of this first half, which has been a rather cagey affair, albeit, like I said, obviously I've spoken about it before. The US have dominated in terms of possession, I think, and obviously attacking sequences. But yes, last opportunity, like I said, it's for Kieran Trippier. He'd be wise to hit this in as a long corner, proper corner into the box, given the fact there's the seconds have ticked away, and hopefully we get an opportunity here to score just before half time. But that's absolutely terrible. It's gone straight into the US keeper's hands, and he's going to try and release it. But I wouldn't be surprised if, as soon as he does so, the referee blows up for half time. And yes, he has blown up for half time. So yes, 0-0. Very, very tight game, as you might anticipate, between these two teams. Obviously, this second game is going to be absolutely crucial. Well, the USA probably do need a point slightly more than England. In many ways, of course, actually for England, probably even a draw wouldn't be too bad for England, as long as obviously we beat the Wales, who are probably the worst team in this group. Again, from what I've seen anyway of all these matches. So it's not too bad from England, but you would anticipate that Gareth will want us to win. And we do have obviously all these players on the bench that we should be utilising in the second half. And yeah, Elevate and Escalate fan just said England waking up. Yes, I think we were slightly towards the end of that first half. But obviously, I know you guys, obviously USA have got a lot of players as well. You guys can bring on as well to change things. But I think obviously England ourselves have got, an incredible squad, an incredible bench. There's obviously 5 substitutions allowed at this World Cup. And we've obviously got so many different attacking options that we can bring on. As you saw obviously in the Iran match as well, we had Wilson, Rashford, Grealish, and Foden being able to be brought on. So I'm not sure whether we might not see those 4 again. The longer things go on, but it depends whether Gareth wants to risk things, and ultimately not. It's whether he wants to be pragmatic, and if it's heading towards, like, let's say it stays 0-0 for a long, prolonged period of time in the second half, it's whether he doesn't think a draw's not an absolutely terrible result. We can go and win against Wales in the final day and top the group then. But from my point of view, we want to get the job done early, get a victory here, and ultimately, that probably will see us top the group, providing there's no massive goal swing on the final day, which is extremely unlikely. But yeah, from the USA point of view, they have created things, but England have defended resolutely, and just a lack of opportunities for for good play really for USA. But yeah, England by their own sort of by my own sort of admission as an England supporter, they have been very, very poor. We have had a few opportunities at the back end of that first half. Mason Mount should probably do better with his opportunity, and obviously, but they've also been obviously Saka as well with his half chance. I think they did sort of grow into the game as well. But we do know that we do have all this wealth of attacking talent that we can bring on if necessary as well. So yes, good half of football altogether. Um, but again, you will anticipate that in the second half things will improve a lot. The fact that there was only 1 minute of additional time, given how strict FIFA are in terms of adding on additional time, just shows that the ball was kept in play a lot of the time. There wasn't any time wasting or any sort of injuries or anything like that. But that means that the game wasn't really a blub and thunder match. It was more sort of played at a relaxed pace, and there was a real lack of urgency, I think, from both teams. Of course, really, actually, from the USA perspective and England's perspective, a draw isn't a bad result for either team. USA will probably think that they can beat Iran on the final day, and obviously England themselves will be thinking they can beat Wales as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a chess match at the moment, bit of a game of cat and mouse. Which team will want to win more? I think in that second half, and obviously, like I said, England have got the advantage on the bench. Plenty of attacking options for us to bring on in the second half, and hopefully break this deadlock and ultimately see off the USA. I would like to see maybe, I think, from an England perspective, I would like to see Marcus Rashford probably at some point, and obviously Jack Grealish as well. You want to see, so with Rashford, as we know, a bit of pace, a bit of trickery, the ability to unlock defences. And again, you've got that same thing with Jack Grealish, an extremely skillful player again who commits men, and that is going to be extremely important, obviously, against this well drilled and low block from the US. From the USA perspective, they just want to be a bit more clinical when they've had the opportunities. I think from wide areas, obviously, again, I'm not sure. Again, obviously about the. Let's just have a quick look at this actually, in terms of like the two lineups to see what substitute options that the USA have got to bring on. Yeah, so obviously you've got plenty of players on here. I think obviously he's decided not to go with Josh Sargent, hasn't he? Let's just have a look here. So Sargent, I think that might be an option for the US as well, obviously in terms of like the forward line. Maybe someone who can get involved and get on the end of some of these opportunities. But yeah, I think, in terms of, if I just very quickly have a look at the statistics as well, in terms of, what's happened so far. So 62% possession for 38% possession for USA. That's relatively surprising. That England have enjoyed the Lions' share of possession, but obviously have done very little with it. We already saw actually just on those exact same figures we saw in the Wales-Iran match. It was exactly 62% that Wales had and 38% Iran had. But again, if anyone watched that match as I did, you would see that Iran were the only team that was really trying to change things and really were getting on the ball. And obviously 5 shots for England, 6 for USA. 1 shot on target for both sides. So I think obviously there was the I can't remember what the USA one was, but obviously England's one was that tame shot from Mason Mount, which was tipped around the post towards the end, and obviously 2 corners apiece and 6 fouls for the US and 4 for England. But yeah, very, very limited amount of talking points really. And obviously England, obviously on my television, sort of going through some of the opportunities as well and trying to explain why things have not gone right. But this opportunity here, I mean, if Harry Kane scores this at the very, very start, that's a very, very different game that England are looking at. It's quite a poor opportunity. It's quite a poor play from him. That was the first time that I think Jude Bellingham had really got in between the lines and was able to create much as he did against Iran. But again, obviously from the wide positions is where we're looking at. And again, obviously Luke Shaw it cuts in. And again, they're showing that opportunity which Saka spurned and hit well over the crossbar. But it's been a good match so far, and it just remains to be seen really whether England can sort of improve and really work on themselves, because that's exactly what they're going to have to do in the second half, and really try and improve and get things ticking over, of course. Like I said, what I want to see, obviously as an England fan perspective, I do want to see us win this match, because I do know that obviously does mean that we'll probably likely finish first, and that would allow us to rest players and get them ready for the second round match, which will likely probably be against Ecuador, I'd say at this point. Obviously if we were to win. But from a USA perspective, again, there was this show now showing the USA chances, the opportunities where they went close as well. Again, it's just a lack of, I think, obviously with Trippier in particular, he should be a lot tighter and a lot closer to Pulisic before he unleashes that shot. But it was a wonderful opportunity that Pulisic created. Saka had actually come across as well to cover, but Pulisic knew that he had to take on the opportunity at that juncture, and he does so. And again, hits a wonderful shot. But yeah, it's been a game low on chances. It's also been, to be honest with you, a game relatively low on quality. And then obviously Disdain as well was tuned in. So hello, how's the first half treating you? Yeah, Diz, I think it's I was sort of explaining it. It's been quite a low quality first half. I think England have not really come to the races yet. They've not really started things. Obviously, Elevator Escalator fan has sort of said that England were waking up towards the end of that half, and I think we were slightly. But at the same time, I think England have it's been quite a turgid affair, tepid. But as I sort of was explaining in the first half, though, you do tend to see that this tournament, haven't we? We've seen a lot of first halves where things have been played in a very pragmatic and cautious fashion, and then obviously the shackles come off in the second half when teams start to go for it. With their opportunities, and also obviously when players get tired, systems break down slightly, and that's when we have seen a lot of the goals. And that's what I'm anticipating probably will happen in this match as well. One thing I don't want to do is obviously, I've done a watch along for a 0-0. So I would like to see obviously some goals of some kind as well. And obviously want to join later, George, says Rich. Yes, I will do, Rich. Yeah. I'll message you a bit later on that as well. It'll just obviously depend again, because obviously when I do the watch alongs as well, my voice does get quite tired from sort of speaking continuously for that period. Disdain, Rashi phone will cause US some problems. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Diz, as well. I think that's the sort of advantage that England have got. We know in against Iran as well that we took the game even further away from Iran, obviously with the 4 substitutions that we were able to make, obviously with Wilson, Foden, Grealish and Rashford. And I think we've got that opportunity to make those changes again. If need be. Obviously, if this game's still deadlocked at 0-0, I would like to see, because I've seen this before with Southgate, I would like to see him give plenty of time, Southgate, for the substitutions to make a difference. I would like to see them maybe at the hour mark, but I suspect he'll probably try and do it at 75 minutes, which wouldn't actually be too bad, because we know he'll probably get quite a lot of extra time, a lot of additional time, so it'll be a lot longer than it would normally be at that point. But I would like to see him get given enough minutes to try and win this game, and like I said, put this group to bed. With 1 game to spare. And then hi Disdain, says Rich as well. But yeah, it's been as I said, obviously chances at a premium, lack of real flair, and obviously only a few minutes left until we kick off the second half. As I said, if I was the USA coach, I'd be saying to them, keep going with the way that you are. You are creating opportunities. You are getting into good positions, but just try and retain composure when necessary. And again, though, with those crosses in particular, try and wait and really try and pick out your man, because they have got into good opportunities, but quite often the crosses have been overhit. And obviously, Diz is just saying hi to Rich as well. Overhit or underhit, and there's been a real lack of quality from the US in the final third. Apart from that. And if I'm Southgate, I'm literally saying to the team to really sharpen up their ideas, really improve how you're playing this match, because at the moment, it's just a lack of quality. And again, in particular, I think the midfield and obviously the forwards have really lacked precision. There's been a lot of wasteful passes. I think in particular, obviously Rice has not really controlled things as he did against Iran. Bellingham as well has been a bit wasteful when he's had possession as well. So it's all about creating those spaces, continuously running, offering opportunities, and that's what England need to do in this second half. Creating overloads, creating space, and going a lot more wide. I think what England have done a lot more actually this game than they did against Iran is they have tried to cut the USA through the middle, which has not really been successful. And actually, the opportunities that we've seen, obviously, the few opportunities that England have created have actually been from wide positions, but the ball hasn't gone wide often enough. And that's what I want to see in the second half. I want to see the balls going wide, and I want to see a lot more of those cutbacks. And now I think a lot more opportunities will be created in that way, and I think we will see an England goal. But obviously, Diz has said, Pulisic came close. He might just score the winner. Yeah, that would be, that might indeed happen, Diz. I think, he's for the USA. I think he's probably their sort of star player. He's their quality, and I think he's probably going to be the best to have the best opportunity. I think to potentially get a very famous winner. And like I said, obviously it would really put the cat among the pigeons, because then England would go from what is currently obviously a relative position of superiority in the group to a position of inferiority, obviously, in the group as well. So I think obviously with a loss here, we'd go into a narrow loss anyway, which is probably what that might happen. And we'd go into second again, and obviously need then results to go our way. So and also know obviously that the US, if they were to win, would then only need to would no matter what, we'd have obviously second as our maximum threshold. So whatever happens, England need to make sure they don't lose. But obviously winning would be the best thing to do, and that's what they need to focus on doing in the second half. And like I said, I want to see Southgate making good, prompt changes to change things, and not as have to wait until like the last few minutes when things, when substitutes don't have enough time to change things or influence stuff. One thing I would say is that I don't think Southgate will ever do the thing of where he and then Saka is poor first half, says Diz as well. Yes, he was. Yeah, he did create that opportunity for Harry Kane, obviously at the very start, but other than that, he was quite wasteful. There was a particular opportunity where England did have were on the break and there were men over, and Saka decided to hit the ball to the wide left, but hit miles behind obviously the England player, and it did halt that counter attack in its tracks. So yeah, I think Saka has been quite wasteful as well. But yeah, from an England perspective, obviously they're now showing the fans as well. I think the second half is about to start. I think we're about a minute away, I think, or maybe in fact slightly less. Obviously, I can see that the players are now back on the pitch. The USA are huddled all together. Last few motivational messages, things maybe that they've run through in the dressing room. And again, obviously England themselves are late out. We're just seeing them in the tunnel. Harry Kane maybe seems to be giving a few looks over to a few of his England players, giving them some encouragement. I think, the word of the day for England really is to make your quality count, and really do hit things slightly more urgently, with a lot more urgency. It's the same old thing that you often see actually when you're trying to break down teams, play the ball a lot quicker. And I think when England have played the ball quicker, we have had those few opportunities, but the ball far too often has been slow and ponderous. And that's where England have been lacking. So, like I said, obviously the second half, I want to see much more quick, precise finishing. And, if this is still 0-0, as I said, when it gets to about 60, 65 minutes, I do want to see Gareth make some prompt substitutions in the attacking third. Rashford and Grealish in particular, those two players I think would be good players to bring on at that point, particularly I think obviously on either wing. Because at the moment, obviously, Saka's been poor, but also I think we've not necessarily spoken about Sterling too much, and that's because he's not really done too much either, as well. So yeah, make a few alterations. I think Wilson for Kane is very much like for like, so I don't necessarily think that Southgate will do that. I think he might try and make changes on the wide flanks, or maybe even Phil Foden on. But he does love Mason Mount, as we know, he is his love child. So that's definitely a foul. I've absolutely no idea. The referee has decided not to give a foul for that, and the USA are now on the attack. Yeah, absolutely no idea why that wasn't given a foul. He's decided to play on, but the USA have got the attack. I've got an attack on here. It's just drifted in wide, but again, obviously England repelled that ball, and then narrowing England win or a draw. Yes, I think that's probably what I would go for. Diz, I think England's quality should tell. I mean, obviously, famous last words when USA win it now, but England do have the better quality on the pitch already, and also on the bench as well. But obviously, America have had the lion's share of opportunities, despite the fact England have had the most possession of the two. It's all about what you do with the possession, and USA have been very, very good when they've had the ball. Albeit the fact they haven't actually made Pickford work too much, have they? He obviously did try and work for the Pulisic one that hit the bar, but didn't have to make the save. And obviously, I think wasn't it, only one shot on target for both teams, which is very, very poor, isn't it? But I would anticipate that it will change in the second half as well. And then come on, the USA celebrate and escalate fan as we start the second half. Yeah. There's a lack of hunger as well from England to try and win this ball back. I think I would, that might be another way that Gareth tries to break things down, is try and get those quicker players on, like I said, Rashford in particular, to try and harry these defenders and these USA defenders instead of this slow. With what we're seeing here is they're being able to build up nice and slowly, no pressure on the ball here. They're just calmly passing it back and forth. Now they're trying to press, but is it going to work? Go on, press him, press him. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, excellent play by Luke Shaw there. England have won it back from the sort of half press, and they finally actually did narrow things down, and they have hurried USA into a mistake, and the ball now is back in England's possession with a Luke Shaw throw in on the halfway line. So yeah, a very, very positive bit of play from England, but again, it's obviously it's sort of wasted. They should try and get it out wide, which they have now done. And it's now Kieran Trippier who's now got on the chest, and there is now a man over. We do want to see Saka try and make his man work here. Oh, flipping hell! They can't even do the simple bloody pass. And now USA are on the break as well. And there is going to be opportunity here, it looks like, because Harry Maguire's in the centre. Is he going to cover anyone? Get out to him! Get out to him! Okay, England are extremely lucky there. That again, obviously, there's a lack of quality, I think, in the USA team, because the ball, obviously, they do have this opportunity. John Stones jockeys his man well, makes the block, and it ball does fall out, does come out to Weston McKennie, but again, it's blazed miles over, so pretty poor. And I'm impressed with the USA left back. Not going to lie, this is. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Who is the? Where is that? Where have we got here? We've got this USA lineups here. Let me just look on the BBC website. The left back for USA, number 5, so Robinson. Yeah, I've not. He has done well actually. I think there've been a lot of USA players actually that have done quite well before them. But I think it's also helped by the fact that Bukayo Saka's been pretty poor. But it's whether you sort of give more credit to him, or you give more credit to the fact that Saka's been terrible, or obviously Robinson and how good he's been. And here we go. Here's Saka again. Now he's got to try and make this make Robinson work, and Trippier as well probably does need to try and create something here as well. Go on, go! Oh, you flipping idiot, Sterling! There was a really good opportunity there that Sterling just had there with a better touch. He was almost in there, so he saw the space. He saw the half space in the channel in the box. Went for it, but again, it was just too heavy to a touch in for himself. That's a foul. Yeah. Okay, I think England are starting to try and dominate proceedings. We are seeing a lot more of the ball now, and I think they are trying to create things as well. And then obviously, yeah, imagine if Pulisic scores a win and shows the sign it's called soccer. He will do something. Pulisic is like that, isn't he? We all know Pulisic. You know what he's like. He'll do something. He'll do something funny if he does score. We'll have to wait and see. And obviously, lol, rage quit is possible. Come on, England. No need. That was definitely off, by the way. Flip. What is this referee doing? That was your guy again. Obviously, Diz. That was your guy, your left back again, Robinson, doing some excellent work again on the left hand side. It looks like he's going to be a good outlet for them actually on the break when England have got more of the ball and wins a throw in for the USA. But obviously, still now, a few seconds later, it's now an England throw in on the opposite side, which will be taken by Luke Shaw. But yeah, Robinson actually, now that you've sort of pointed him out to me, I do notice that he is doing very well, and it seems like to me that that's who the USA are trying to use to try and break through the England press when they have the ball. But again, that's lazy by Luke Shaw. Come on, quicker now. This is an opportunity now. It's a really good opportunity. Come on, Saka, run. Yeah, Tyler Adams did exceptionally well there against Bukayo Saka. Helped by the fact, like I said, that Saka's been having a terrible game, but that's very good defensive play by Tyler Adams. And yeah, England are starting to get frustrated now, but we are starting to knock on that door of the USA defence. But again, there's just a lack of quality, lack of precision in the final third, and Harry Maguire has decided to go on one of his usual runs because he knows that USA have started to pull back, but Luke Shaw's managed to sweep up behind him. There was the opportunity with Harry Maguire out of possession after his long galloping major run. There was going to be some space in behind, which has now been filled in by Luke Shaw, and England have got the ball back again. Rice, yes, no. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, it's definitely a foul. I'm not sure whether the referee's going to give it or not. Go now, go now, go now. Yeah, I can barely speak about how crap that was from Mason Mount. Really, really poor from Mason Mount. That's not a foul, by the way. Let's have a look at this again. Got Timothy Ware, I think it is, that's on the ground. No, that's not a foul for me. Obviously, you guys might see different, but that's just what I'd call, obviously, again, slightly. Yeah, he does. It's just sort of like coming together more than anything between the two. Shaw does actually get the ball first when we're seeing it. Obviously, you guys will see the same angles that I'm seeing. And Shaw does get the ball first, but obviously clatters the man as well, and that's what in the old-fashioned day, in the old days, for me, that's exactly how players do tackle. That's the best type of tackle. You get the ball first, and then sweep the man after as well. It's one of those sort of old-fashioned tackles, which, like I said, is the perfect tackle for anyone who's old school like myself. Ware is now up on his feet. He was doing, obviously what all players typically do is rolling around on the floor, but is soon up and ready, up right as rain, ready to take this. And I think obviously he's going to have to give the ball back to England. Because England sportingly had kicked the ball out to allow him to recover and recuperate. But yes, already only a few minutes have gone, obviously, of this second half, and England have got the ball back. But yeah, not much has changed really. I think England have tried to impose themselves, but again, it's been a lack of quality in that final third that's undone them. Mason Mount in particular, very, very poor. Obviously, Bukayo Saka, and obviously Diz mentioned that the Robinson, he really has got his number. I think this game, he's got him in his pocket, which will no doubt be another meme. Obviously, when this game is finished, if it does finish 0-0. Fuck me, what's he doing? Mason Mount doing his usual pissy play on the wing. When the ball's been recycled again, and obviously it's gone to England. He's achieved absolutely nothing. You've got to head for the space, head for the space, head for the space. What is he doing? There's not enough players in England's team either coming deep. There's very much a disjointed play here as well. Obviously, Saka's now come slightly wide. Trippier tries to play the ball through as well, but it's again to no avail. Obviously, from the on the through ball, and again, obviously England are having a lot of DC goals in this half from Elevate Escalade fan. I do, but I think we'll need to see them quite quick, won't we? I think this is either got. Obviously, what Diz said when that while back, obviously narrow England win or draw. I think that's probably what we're looking at most likely at the moment. I think England have got most of the possession, so you would think they'd create something eventually. But at the same time, USA are always going to have that threat on the counter, aren't they? Oh my God. This referee again. Fucking hell. Yeah, we are going to need to see some substitutes, I think, soon. In the next few minutes, I want to see Gareth make those substitutes. And if Iran can score so late, anything is possible. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. I don't think England, though. Obviously, Iran needed to win so badly, didn't they? In terms of where they were in the group, I don't think England would commit that many men forward. Obviously, we saw that second goal from Iran in particular. So yeah, and obviously they were helped by the sending off, back to the wall really at that point for Wales as well. So it's whether I don't think we'll see a sending off in this match, but again, famous last words. But yeah, England obviously a possession in contest is another stat they love using at this World Cup, and obviously England have had most of it, and I think actually have been doing quite well with the possession in this second half. Not much really of note for USA at the moment, but obviously they are on the ball now and hoping to change that, and obviously getting their noses in front. And again, England have been very, very poor. That's again a good run. Come on, run, 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 run. It's just no. That's what we do need as well. I think. I think we do need some pace in this team now. I think that's what the first substitute I'd make is Rashford. Get a bit of pace on, and then use his when USA are starting to press all this way up. You have his pace then on the break, because at the moment there's just lack of anything really. Harry Kane obviously is an extremely static, immobile forward as we know, and get Kane in and around him, and get Kane obviously spinning and then trying to deliver it into Rashford, to try and break this deadlock. Because at the moment, yeah, everything's very, very cagey, everything's very, very tight, and it does look like England are going to have to go to the subs bench to try and break this down, because USA have been very, very good and well drilled. That's well wide. It's a USA corner, which Pulisic is going to take. Let's have a look. Yeah, good block actually from Declan Rice. Jordan Pickford, as they sort of saying, is furious. He's angry. As I said before, a lot of it's for the a dramatic effect with Pickford. He's always angry, isn't he? But yeah, USA corner. And obviously Pulisic as well, gesturing to his crowd who were all in and around him on the corner, for them to try and take it as well. And obviously, yeah, let's see what he does with this corner. That's a fabulous header by Harry Maguire. That's a foul. Harry Maguire as usual. It seems like actually that the he's almost got a homing device in his head at the moment, because on these corners and these free kicks, he's been very, very good, hasn't he? No doubt if England do keep a clean sheet, there'll be all sort of memes about Harry Maguire actually, because he's been exemplary so far this match, hasn't he? In terms of a lot of the USA attacks have come through set pieces, and obviously that's bread and butter for Harry Maguire. It's the thing he can do without. He doesn't have to move. He's obviously extremely tall, and good with his bonds. So. And it's another corner for USA. So now they're starting to, the pendulum has now swung and starts to swing back to the USA. Well, counter-attack and set piece where we can get a goal, says Elevator Escalator. Fine, I do agree. You've got another opportunity as well, just as we're about to hit the hour mark as well. Because, yeah, England have just, the midfield's been really, really lacking for England. And obviously up front, they've not really offered much. So I do want to see some alterations from Gareth. Hopefully England can repel this corner. I certainly wouldn't want to go 1-0 down at this late stage, because again, that's just oh my god, what is happening here? Last ditch defending there. Corner caused absolute mayhem. Jordan Pickford was debated whether to go for it, decided not to in the end. The ball's obviously horsed up in the air, and again it's a bit scrappy, but Harry Kane managed to bail it out for another corner, which Pulisic again will take. And obviously the corners are now racking up for USA. 3 obviously within the last few minutes, which has now got the corner tally total to 5 for them and 2 for England. That's a foul as well. Come on, quicker. Where the heck are the England players? When Harry Kane has that ball, again, he's absolutely nobody around him, no one trying to offer anything. He's got to just go it himself. We know that Harry Kane's got no pace, and obviously the ball gets. This is just, yeah, this game has really devolved into. I'm not, to be honest with you, in terms of like this, yeah, obviously does. Yeah, Southgate better make those changes quick. Yeah, he better do. He better do, because this game is really turgid at the moment. It's really struggling. Both teams are sort of, lack of quality, I think, at the moment from both teams. Obviously, again, that's why it is 0-0. And I think England, like I said, they can really benefit from some changes. I can't see, obviously, from my angle whether, I think obviously we're from the angle of where all the players would be warming up, and we can't see whether there is anyone that's warming up. and who that Southgate's told to warm up, obviously. But Dest has done extremely well there, and good blocking again in there from. Yeah, Mason Mount again. That's all I've got to say about that. That was piss poor. And this looks like a 0-0 to celebrate as fan. Yes, it does. Yeah, which will leave things all nice and tied up, ready for the final day. And I'm not going to call this sport soccer. Jeebus is. Yeah, well, I've not said that as my bet. If USA were to win this, we're now seeing obviously the fans as well, who are understandably ecstatic at being on camera. But yeah, this at the moment is relatively painful to watch, actually. Because again, it's just such a lack of quality from England. You kind of expect it from the USA, but from England's perspective, it's been very, very poor, really. Bit of a hangover, maybe. Not sure what their preparation was for this match, but it's been very, very poor. Referee's given another corner to USA. Not sure actually whether that was a corner, but nevertheless, it is another one. And obviously, USA, they're going to try and pack the mixer as they always have done on previous ones and try and get one of them right. God knows why. Like I said, God knows why Gareth Southgate hasn't made a change yet or isn't trying to make a change. I've got absolutely no idea why. We're just sort of sitting here waiting for the USA to break the deadlock, and then before we actually make our own move as well. Pickford could actually have let that go. I don't think he actually realised. Yeah, I think he probably thought someone was behind him. Every player actually went to the front post, anticipating the forward, anticipating a near post corner from Pulisic, but actually went all the way through. And Pickford has glanced it away, but again, it's another corner for Pulisic to take. And again, England have very well repelled the borders. It was quite nice actually watching. That's a foul. Yes, he's finally given a free kick to England. But it's quite nice actually watching England, because unlike when Man United are playing, obviously my club team, it's quite nice watching a team that can actually defend set pieces, because Man United's set piece record, as we all know, is absolutely terrible, both offensively and defensively. But England have been very, very secure here. And for some reason, Gareth Southgate, despite the fact I was trying to call for an offensive sub like Rashford, Grealish, someone like that, he seems to be calling Jordan Henderson as his first sub. And then surely Foden over Mount after this match, says Diaz. Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know how Mount. I really don't rate Mount whatsoever. And obviously, celebrating escalate. If I was about England 0-0 some major tournaments, yeah, it's just poor, isn't it, at the moment? Especially after all those goals in the Iran game, and Iran are a good side, as we know, obviously from what they did to Wales. It's just been lack of quality from England. Not working the possession. Oh, Grealish is getting ready as well. Good. That'll be someone that can change things. We need him on as soon as possible. And obviously, yeah, England. Oh, flipping heck. Come on. Oh, fucking hell. No one's making a run in there, and it's an easy pick out for the USA keeper. That's a fantastic tackle by Declan Rice as well, actually, on the transition. It really is. I think it was Weston McKennie again that was trying to get clear. And yeah, obviously, this fan was about 0-0. Yeah, it's both Jordan. God knows why Jordan Henderson's coming on. I've got absolutely no idea. I don't know whether that'll probably be for Bellingham, won't it? It won't be for again, one of Southgate's love childs, Declan Rice. It won't be for him. It'll be for Jude Bellingham, who, to be fair, hasn't had a very good game. But I think I'd probably just go, throw the kitchen sink at it and actually go for the win. Because this has been really, really poor. I don't. It's just absolutely. It's been a turgid game. It's just, again, obviously, with it now being a 0-0, USA can afford to maybe take a few risks. I mean, even a loss for USA isn't the worst result in the world. They know they have to. They pretty much know they have to beat Iran in a way in that final day. So it's not even that poor result, obviously. But USA, I think, should just ultimately go for it. And obviously, yeah, this says Henderson coming on, and yeah, elevator escalator. And here comes Hendo. No idea why he's coming on. He's not going to offer anything. That's, in my opinion, it's just a waste of a sub. You know, realistically, you should literally be bringing on those same four that he did last time against Iran about this time. And it does look we are going to finally see the substitutes. It's Jordan Henderson who appears to be taking on some extra fluids. Raheem Sterling's coming off, so I think that'll probably be for Jack Grealish, which it is. And obviously Jordan Henderson, not quite sure who he's coming off for. Jude Bellingham, actually, just sort of seeing on the subtitles as well. I've got on my screen. So it's the sort of changes I thought it might be. Obviously, Jack, and it's all just straight swaps from Gareth Southgate. There's no sort of there's no what do you call it? There's no real opportunity, no real change in terms of like actually throwing the kitchen sink or anything. It's just straight changes. And Hendo's a captain and a leader, says Elevator and Escalator fan. He is, but really what I need now is we need quality. We need attacking quality of kind. So like I said, I think for me it's a bit of a waste of a sub. I'd rather have seen Rashford come on for Saka, to be honest with you. Saka can come on. Oh, it's so poor from Luke Shaw, it really is. Spin. Sometimes just words fail me, really. England have just been so poor in the attacking third. Decision making's just been terrible. It will only take one opportunity though, and hopefully England will take it and score, because this has been really, really poor. It really has. England now building up again, obviously through the attack. Come on, Jack. Take him on. Bloody hell, that was close. Come on, take him. Oh, flipping heck. I think it's a free kick. I think Harry's got penalised for holding on as usual. Typical play, really, from him. Yeah, that's not what you want when you're chasing a game. But yeah, 20 minutes of regulation time left. Whatever the referee decides to add on, this looks like a 0-0, which is going to be a real damp squib for obviously for the rivalry, isn't it? The England USA is just all the hype again for ultimately what's been a flipping egg. That's not a foul. Oh, good. Referee actually did spot that Dest had just decided to dive there and has given a throw into England, so that's good news. Obviously, England have got the ball. Dest is, that's just unfortunately a simulation. He realised that he'd hit the ball far too far in front of him, and obviously Shaw was going to get there, and decides to go over. So, but yeah, this is really, really poor. We see too many. Obviously, we saw again even in the Euros. Obviously, when we did so well, we saw again that boring 0-0 against. What the flip is happening here? Why are we allowing USA to have all their have loads of drinks? Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, we saw the 0-0 obviously against Scotland in the Euros last time in the second game as well. And obviously England won the third game, so we're seeing that again there. And if there's a goal, who's going to score it? I would say I'll say Saka, elevator and escalator. I'll say him. I'll say that Kane creates it in some way or something, or Saka. But I think Saka will get it. I don't think Kane will. I think it'll be Saka. Someone's got to. Let's be honest. Someone's got to finally actually just hit the bloody hit the ball in the back of the net. But there's not been that in this second half. Really, has there been many chances? No, not really. Two teams have cancelled each other out. There've been lots of attacking movements, but no one's really got in. Both defenses have been on top, haven't they? That's a definite foul, by the way. See, this is a thing, isn't it? Jack Grealish, as I said before, that's why I wanted him as one of my substitutions. Obviously, the other one I wanted to be Rashford, but he does commit people. We've seen already there's a foul there. And that's what they should be trying to do to break down this defence. They should just be trying to give it to Grealish as much as possible and let him try and create things. That's brilliant. Oh, flipping hell, Harry Kane. Absolute crap. That's brilliant by Harry Maguire. Come on, Grealish. Go at him. Go at him. Go at him. England just not good, to be honest with you. And Rashi for the win. Yeah, that's who I'd have had as another sub. But it'll probably, I mean, we'll only have about 20 minutes left, even including injury time. Probably it's not been that much either of that. So I do want to see some subs. I don't want to see everyone just wait. This can't be the end really for the subs. We do need to see some more if this stays at 0-0. And I do want them to be attackers. As soon as Rashi comes on, by the way, I will change my answer to Rashi scoring the winner. But at the moment, I'd say if the current player's on there, I'd say Saka. Yeah, it just stopped there because there was an absolutely terrible, terrible pass through. No idea what's happening at the moment. This has just been a very, very poor game, to be honest. But like I said, I think in some ways this is probably the best result that Wales could hope for, really, because it does mean that things are. Come on, Grealish, just go yourself. Grow yourself. Go yourself. Go yourself. Come on, get men over, for fuck's sake. Oh, it's just always back. Just get the ball. The bloody. It's just painful. It's just painful watching this England team at the moment. No one's taking a risk. It's all sideways, backwards passing. No one's making runs in and around the player on the ball. Get it in there now. Oh, it's just taken another touch and it's back again. Just bear with me a second. Go on, go now. Go now. Oh, it's just painful again. Come on, get an overlap. Go overlap. Yes, well done. Oh, it's not. Saka's been terrible today. He really has. He's not even taking the ball with him. Come on, that's yours. Yeah, we need to get Saka off. He was good against Iran, but he needs to come off now. He's been terrible. I'm pretty sure he's just offside there. Absolute crap. But again, obviously, we're seeing an American change. I've got no idea where Southgate appears. Oh, look who it is. Just as I was about to curse Southgate again, we've just seen a flash of Marcus Rashford being readied. So, yes, as I said, as my prediction for who's going to score first has now changed to Marcus Rashford. And Weston McKennie's the one that's making way for America. He's had a good game. I think obviously he's had that good opportunity in the first half, but I think overall he's done well. And obviously it's Aronson's coming on for USA. Hopefully it's going to be. I think it's probably going to be Saka. I think for Rashford. I mean, will Southgate actually decide to go for things and actually make a change of a considerable note, and maybe even change out someone like Maguire for Rashford and really go for it? Obviously, yeah, USA substitution for an Escalator fan. Yeah, will we see Southgate go for it? Unlikely. We'll probably see another like for like, and obviously a Dest is coming off as well. Yeah, Dest is replaced by Moore. We're just waiting to see what England will do with their substitution. Dest is now coming off, and he's being a bit vociferous in some. He's complaining about something. And yes, obviously we're going to see Rashford on for Saka, just as I predicted. Again, a like for like. Southgate not going too hasty, not throwing on too many players. But yeah, Rashford's now become the number one scorer, I think, for us. But he's got a limited amount of time to do it. I mean, I wanted him in at least another 15 minutes ago, but he'll probably only get about 15 minutes now to actually change things. Obviously scored quite quickly, didn't he, when he came off the bench against Iran? We want to see a goal again, obviously, for him again. But it's whether England can obviously find him as well. But it's the US now; they're on the attack. Obviously, a lot of changes that they've made as well. They want to try and have add their bit of quality to things as well, and get their attacks off as well. That's piss poor. And it all comes to nothing. Pulisic again a bit tightened up a bit at the crucial time as well. And yeah, elevate escalate fans, see how these changes pan out. Yeah, yeah, we will. There's not much time left now. Only about, I'd say, like I said, just about under 15 minutes, including the additional time which will be given. So it's just about who can make the best use of them, really. But I think in terms of the probabilities of this, it's most likely I'd put it probably like 90% a draw at this point. If I was doing, these odd sort of things they do here, I'd say it's a 0-0 draw, pretty much nailed on. And yeah, neither team has really actually gone for it. Grealish is being fouled a lot again. That's why I don't understand why we don't see him. We don't see him more, because these sort of fouls will tot up, and then players know they're on yellow cards, and red cards can quickly come. And then yeah, Tammy Abraham should be in the England squad, says Deers. Yeah, he should be. I mean, we've got to have. You need more and more attacking options, really, don't you? I think defence-wise, you tend to see the same players over and over again, but obviously offensively. Oh, it's fucking Rice again. That's phenomenal by Harry Maguire. It really is. Well, I think he's hurt himself. Yeah, I think Harry's hurt himself. Hopefully, USA don't make use of that, because he's come across obviously on the cover. And yeah, Grealish and Neymar are always getting fouls. They're an Escalade fan. Yeah, they are. This would just be. I'll be so annoyed. Obviously, I know you will be as well. If well, obviously, depending on which team you support, I'll be so annoyed if USA win this, by the way, because I think they've offered so little. I think we've offered so little. So it'll be whichever team loses, I think will be very, come on, quicker, quicker. Oh, that is painful from Grealish. It really is. Really, really poor. And this is the first boring game you've covered, George. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've been blessed with the other ones. Come on. Yeah, absolute crap again by England. Turner, I think, is your goalkeeper, isn't he? Elevator, and he's just plucked everything out of the sky, hasn't he? But to be fair to that, it's just been terrible ball after terrible ball. This is a really, really dire game. It really is. Just waiting to see actually what develops on this from this US attack. That's a foul. The referee's given it again. A foul on Luke Shaw. So far, we've not actually expected. Yeah, nobody expected England to struggle today. Shocking. I thought it would be a bit of a struggle because I know that USA would always play very well and they're very well disciplined. But I thought we would win. I can't deny that. I thought we would win by like one or two goals. But yeah, I didn't think it'd be this boring. This lack of creativity, lack of quality, which we've seen in this match. It's been disgusting, really, from both sides actually. But obviously more disgusting from England because we do have, the far better players, the quality. And again, no one's really influenced things. Obviously, Gio Reyna's now come on as well for USA. So whether he can, so it might be him that breaks the deadlock as well for USA. Yeah, frustrating game. I know we had a lot of frustrations, didn't we? On the obviously, if you guys were following my Portugal versus Ghana watch along, that was quite a frustrating game for a long time. But actually, in the about halfway through the second half, it really did liven up, and then became obviously a classic in the end. But this game really hasn't become a classic. We're certainly running out of time for it to become anything but obviously a 0-0 ball draw or 1-0 snatch by either side at the very end. Come on. Oh, that is so poor by England. It really is. There's absolutely no way that USA should have got out of that. Come on, Shaw, run it quicker. He's fouled again. Why is this referee allergic to giving out yellow cards? Grealish must have been fouled about 5 times. It's just unbelievable, really. I mean, obviously Grealish is always fouled with like little niggly fouls because obviously they can't get him. And why is the linesman not kicked the ball to Luke Shaw? Right. Okay, so we've got a free kick. It's miles away from the goal. Luke Shaw's going to try and whip it in from the left-hand side. Will we see England get a goal from a set piece? Obviously, I will be celebrating if we do score, but it's far too late, really. We've been really shocking today. But it's well cleared, actually. No one really going for it either. Again, that's not a foul. Oh, flipping heck, he's done it again. This referee has been very whistle happy. He's not only has the quality been poor, but also the fact that he's blown up so often is just Ramsdale worry now. Turner starts and probably a clean sheet. It's been diabolical. We're almost into the last 5 minutes of the game, and to be honest with you, I think it's going to be a 0-0. So I apologise to all you guys. Obviously, thank you for everyone who's sort of tuned in. Obviously, like, share, and subscribe again if you're new. Or, I'm sort of guesting on Doug's thing, but this is all the other games I've covered have been absolute goal fests. 2 of the best games in the tournament. This one, absolute turd. Nothing really happening. But yeah, obviously for anyone who's an England fan or a USA fan, you'll still be watching it gripped like I am because you'll just you want your team to win. But I think for any neutral, you'll sort of almost have turned it off by now, won't you? Because nothing, it's been incredibly stale, and it doesn't look like England or USA are going to create anything. Even now, there's a lack of urgency. Pickford has got the ball, and he's just sort of speaking to people, and again, he's whacked out to Luke Shaw. Real lack of quality here. Ball comes into Jack Grealish, and he's won a throw in as well. What I do like about Grealish is he does win those. He does win those free kicks, fouls, and so forth. He's really good on the ball. But yeah, England have just been so poor. It's been very good by USA, but obviously we've got there. I think it's like one shot on target showing for both sides, which is just not good enough, is it? It's just lack of creativity, lack of potency. Turn again. Yeah, sorry about that. I was just again shell shocked by how shit Rashford, by a shit Rashford shot. Some good work by Rashford as well, though, to get into that chance, but obviously also by Grealish. But Rashford should never have shot there. I've no idea what he was doing. I mean, that will technically be a second shot on target for England, so two making them 2-1 on target for in that regard. But that was terrible. Should never have done that. Yep. So only about 2.5 minutes left of this game in terms of normal time, and then, like I said, there won't be too much extra time, and then obviously the game will be over. I think a winner. Obviously, if anyone scores now, it's pretty much a winner. And USA are on the attack now. Just go, Harry. Just go. Go, 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 go. Come on, chase it, chase it, chase it. Chase him, chase him, chase him, chase him, chase him, chase him, chase him. Oh, fuck it. Oh, God, God, God. Come on. Cover, 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 cover. Right, the game's burst into life in the last few minutes. Shit, shit, shit. Oh, yeah, get rid of it. Good. Keep going. What the hell are you doing, Grealish? Which is more boring, this game or the Morocco-Croatia game? Yeah, I mean, I watched that one as well. It's hard to tell, to be honest with you. It's a real shit on door. You know, the parody of Ballon d'Or between these games. Oh, flipping heck. This is USA are taking a few chances with this build up. Come on. Come on. Flipping heck. Right, we're almost to the injury time, guys. Thank you again, like I said, for tuning in. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. You enjoyed stuff. Obviously, I've been as much as we can in these circumstances with this game. But it looks like it's going to head for a 0-0 draw. We're about to go into the 90th minute, and we'll find out. England corner, took it quickly, the free kick quickly, but very well defended actually, as well by Moore, and it will be England corner. And 4 minutes of injury time, it looks like. A quick player ratings maybe. How many minutes added on? So 4. Elevator and escalator, and a quick player ratings maybe for England. Well, I'm quite harsh on my player ratings at the best of times, so I think every England player pretty much would get under 5 for me. I think that's how poorly they've played. But obviously things will change in terms of, like, you know, the outcome of the group if we can get a goal here from this corner. Still a few minutes left, obviously, but unlikely that we'll see anything. Flipping heck, that was absolute crap again. Maguire hits it straight into the turf, and the ball bounces harmlessly up, and easy claim for Turner. And now he's holding onto the ball as he's want to do, but this has been really poor. And I think what we're going to see is, yeah, draw, 0-0 draw. That will leave obviously everything up to the final day, won't it? Between all 4 sides. England, that means they'll need to beat Wales really to be guaranteed, obviously, of finishing first. We had hoped we would see a victory here in order to see that, in order for England to not really need anything on that final day. But that's not what's going to happen. He is just, that's the thing with Grealish, isn't it? He just wins free kicks. He wins. Yeah, anybody can go through now, says Ella Rennesclay fan. He just wins everything. Right. we've got another opportunity here. It's a free kick. I think it's going to be Luke Shaw again with his left foot. Would I? I think I probably would actually have had Grealish take this free kick because it's in more of a closer position, but it is going to be Luke Shaw. And yeah, like I said, we do. I'd give anything for an England goal. Really, just get this game, get the game won, get out of the group, and then move on. Really. God knows what Luke Shaw's doing here as well, wasting time. We need a good delivery from Shaw. We need an England head and a goal. I think it's Maguire standing in a miles offside as well. So no doubt this will be given offside because he's standing miles offside. Get back onside, you arse. Absolute crap by Harry Kane. And that summed up England's night, really, hasn't it? So yeah, only a minute left of added time. I think this is pretty much game over now. That was the last chance. Really, really poor night for England, all told. Come on, come on. I think it's a USA free kick. So this will be the last opportunity. And yeah, like Escalator family got lucky there. And Diz, well, at least we can call it football still. Well, not quite, Diz. USA are going to have the final chance here, which is a free kick. He's happy. He's happy. He wants this draw. Look at the USA coach. He's like, yeah, let's get this draw. But they are going to have the last opportunity of this game, USA. God knows what Pickford's doing. He's run out of his box. This could be the moment for USA to take control of the group. And it's a quickly taken free kick. I think he's about to blow out the referee. Yeah, it's full time. Piss poor. Yeah. Diabolical, really. Not much more I can say really about this. Yeah. Yep. Well, that's full time, guys. Full time nil, England nil, USA nil. Drab, disappointing affair. Thank you very much, obviously, everyone for joining me. And obviously, yeah, 15th draw, 0-0 draw for England in the major tournaments to celebrate an escalator. So yes, perhaps we should have anticipated it. Obviously, at the previous Euros, like I mentioned, there was the 0-0 with Scotland in the second group match. We didn't do too badly in that tournament either. So, and yeah, thanks for the great commentary, George. Thank you, Diz. Yeah, thanks to obviously everyone that tuned, obviously Diz and Elevator in particular. Obviously for your kind comments, and yeah, good result for Elevator and Escalator fan. He says, yeah. But yeah, thank you very much, obviously, everyone for tuning in. England nil, USA nil. So that's the final match of this group. And let's just very quickly review what that does to the table. So let's just have a quick look here. So the tables, obviously, let's just see. Yeah, so obviously the tables now, just as a final reminder, just before we do sort of finish. First, we've got England with 4 points, plus 4 goal difference. Iran second with 3 points, -2 goal difference. USA third with 2 points and 0 goal difference, and Wales -2 and points, -2 goal difference and 1 point. So you would anticipate that England are pretty much safe. They pretty much are qualified. Obviously, it would take a massive goal swing again for England to drop out, which probably won't happen. But again, stranger things have happened. But yeah, England just know that they do need to beat Iran themselves. Know that they only need a draw, probably from obviously only need a draw off the USA to qualify. Pretty much, obviously, unless yeah, there's quite a lot of permutations actually there, which I'll leave you guys to sort of sort out again. moving forward. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe as always. And take care. And obviously, I'll probably see you guys again for a watch along. I think on Monday, I think is the next one we're doing. I'm doing it. I'm doing myself, which is Portugal, Uruguay. But obviously, I think Doug will be doing some other watch alongs as well. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, and take care and enjoy the rest of your nights. Okay.